All right, we'll call meeting to order.
7:01.
Let us, first of all, thanks for all coming, but let us start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, first of all, in the back row, can you hear? Okay, as long as nobody else is talking on the side, we should be okay. Okay, I know, you fixed it. I can turn it up, but I prefer that if we all listen, we're doing well. Could we have a roll call, please, Clerk Pern?
Certainly. Supervisor Bertrand.
I am present.
Treasurer Hunt.
Here.
Clerk Pern here. Trustee Monet.
Here.
Trustee Detmer.
Here.
All present, sir.
Okay. We have a interview process today for a zoning administrator. I'd like to make a motion for approval from the board to move right into that interview right off the bat, so that those people are not sitting through the whole rest of the meeting. I will make that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of proceeding with the interviews for zoning administrator position signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose the same?
Nay.
God, I already wrote the 5 down. Okay, the motion carries it 4-1. Clerk Pern, would you like to take the lead as far as getting our first candidate up here?
Well, sure. The first one that applied for the job was Josh Davinsky, so I'd like to lead off with him. And Miss Seagraves, if she's still in the audience, I'd like her to be removed for the time, and then we'll remove Josh when we have your interview. Is that all right with you? Thank you.
Okay.
Josh, you got the floor.
How you guys doing today?
Good
Does
evening,
everybody have a
Josh.
copy of my resume in front of them?
Yes.
Because I have two extras in case.
Yes, we received it. The board, I believe, has all looked it over by now.
Josh, I left mine out in the car, which can I get one while you got it?
The reason for bringing an extra copy.
Good job. Thank you.
Josh, the process is that we'll give you a couple minutes if you got anything to say about yourself, but then each of us may have some quick questions for you.
That's absolutely fine.
So you'll have to hit the button on that mic, and if it's green, okay, that
Doing something?
You're good.
well, your batteries are good if
Okay.
it's looking like that. So you don't have to get right on it, but
Fantastic.
that should work.
A little bit about myself. I've been in the trade since right out of high school. It's all pretty much on the resume. Started out construction in Gaylord, building a lot in 97 to 2000. Jumped into journeyman iron worker down in Detroit for quite a while. Wife drugged me back because she liked it up here. Moved back up here, got a builder's license, went into business for myself. Found out that was kind of a pain in the butt, so went to work for a company for a while. Body started failing me, so said, figure, put my mind to work instead of my body from there on out. A lot of experience, carried my builder's license since right around 2007. Got the opportunity to work here as a building inspector, zoning official, or zoning administrator and ordinance officer. Moved on for a while. I'm currently at Frederick Township. I'm on a Monday through Thursday schedule. I've got Fridays wide open, and my phone's always on.
Okay. If we'd like to start on the left there, Mr. Hops, if you got any questions, let's do it that way.
I just had a couple. You were here. I don't see the year you were here, years you were here.
Let's see.
Was it recent or?
Yeah, it was 2021. It was right after Dave Dahl was starting to retire, and he actually passed away as we were transitioning
Okay.
to me. I had the pleasure of working with him for a month or two before things got really bad with him.
Was there a reason you left or?
And to be perfectly honest, I had a contractual issue. I wanted to renegotiate, nothing to increase pay, but to change the way it was distributed.
Okay.
And difference of agreement or difference of opinions at that point, and I just said, fine, you know what, Frederick Township's looking, if you guys don't want, here's my resignation. Frederick was offering a pretty good situation, large office, truck, phone, so made sense.
Okay.
I'm listening, I'm gonna.
Do you still have your builder's license?
I do.
Oh, good. Those are, I've read through the resume, so those are the really the only
Yeah.
questions I've got.
It's definitely a nice resume.
Very nice resume, by the way.
Joshua, can we set, do you think we can work out something where we can set a few hours a week and then still have your availability on call to set an appointment and things like that? That's what we're hoping
We're a
for.
quarter mile away.
Oh, my gosh, what if you have to walk? I
Right,
mean,
I
that's,
might ride the bike.
okay.
That would take some effort, but.
Well, this is a pretty lucky thing for us that you have experience with the township. That's a good thing. But, so we can set something up by appointment only, we can have you available by cell phone, and we can set a certain number of hours per week that you'll be available. All right, thank you.
I got a couple questions just in general. We got two strong resumes here. I'm interested in some other things. You did tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell me about your personal preferences, things that you're into, not into.
I'm pretty simple. I like working on stuff. I like getting my hands dirty. I like taking the side-by-side out if I get the chance, and I like fishing.
Okay.
Pretty simple. Got a family, keep them separate from anything going on in the township. That's the only thing I ask.
Okay, what do you think your biggest weakness is?
Got a big heart. That's probably the biggest weakness in a lot of areas because I believe people for the best. You know, I give them the benefit of the doubt probably more often than I should.
Okay. Why should we hire you?
Well, I'm close. I've been here. I know the ordinances and the zoning pretty well. I know a lot of people in the community.
Okay. And you may have covered this already, maybe not. Why'd you leave your last job? So that would be previous to Frederick.
That was here, and we did cover that. That was, I had a contractual issue. I wanted to renegotiate contract, and they pretty much said, well, it all renews. I said, well, that's not the point. I want to change the way the pay was distributed.
They were not, how often were you supposed to re-up the contract?
It was every 3 years, and I was at 3 years.
And they wouldn't negotiate with you?
The way it sounded, no. And I didn't want to push the issue, and there was an offer that had a lot of good stuff going on for it. I mean, like I said, truck, phone, huge office.
Okay. That's all I got.
That's it.
For me,
All right.
sure.
Good evening. Hey, Josh, thanks for coming. I just have one question. What exactly is the Houghton Lake Building Agency? Does that work just like a zoning agency? Do you know what that is? And do you have any affiliation whatsoever with that agency?
I have no affiliation with
Okay.
that agency. I was actually quite close with the previous building inspector because we bumped things off of each other. Come up to something that's kind of goofy on the job, he sent me pictures, what would you do in this situation? And I'd do the same for him.
Yeah.
He's retired from that position now. Holton Lake Building Agency covers multiple townships.
Okay.
I really have no affiliation there at all. I mean, I think I pulled a permit there once, and that was years ago.
And do they have any jurisdictional authority over our township, or is it
Not that I
just?
know of.
Okay, it's
No,
just a conglomerate of,
Right, I
Okay.
do believe that there was talk when I left, that they were going to try to get, brought in under the Holton Lake Building Authority, but
Okay.
it never came to fruition.
okay. Thank you, that's all I have.
If somebody filed a complaint, gave you a written complaint, would you just automatically assume that person was guilty, or would you listen to both sides of the story?
Always listen to both sides of the story.
Always?
Always. There's no reason to not. That's the job, is to find out what's going on. And sometimes a written complaint can open up the complainee to issues also when you go out there to investigate. So it's a tough call.
If there's no further questions, if you got anything else you want to say, then we'll move on.
No, I'm fine. I think that we've covered the bases. You know, I'm, like I said, always have my phone on. I'm here on my side. I've got a split line, so I can give the phone number, my split phone number to the township, no issue.
Okay.
All right?
All right, well, we would ask if you leave. Well, it's nice outside. Somebody will holler at you.
Right. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Josh.
you.
Thanks, Josh.
Clerk Pern, who is next?
We'll call Miss Tina Seagraves to the floor. I don't know if she's,
Is she here?
yeah,
or-
when she went out, well, he was, there she comes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Come on in.
Come on in, Tina.
You can sit right up here. If you push the button on that microphone, it should be green if he happened to turn it off. No, it should be working.
Good.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're here. You put in an application. The board has looked at the applications from both candidates. Give you a couple minutes if you want to say anything about yourself that you believe is worth noting, go ahead, and then we'll have some questions for you after that.
Okay. Well, currently I'm on the board for Denton Township. I was on the board for the zoning and planning, and now I'm just on the appeals. I was also on the board with Backus Township on the planning and zoning as well. So I've been on that for approximately at least 6 or 7 years, so I'm very familiar with the process and what I need to do before I make a decision with the board and so forth. Prior to that, I've worked at the state of Michigan. I worked with them for over 30 years. And I was in the Secretary of State section where I basically handled lots of complaints, problems with driving records, car dealerships, anything under the Secretary of State. I was a senior technician there. I have extensive legal experience. I was also a landlord, and I managed up to about 10 units at one time, and during that time, I did the interviewing for credit check, eviction, processed my own paperwork in court. And now I'm here, I work at the Holton Lake Building Agency. I work there part-time, handing out permits, setting up inspections, and so forth. And that's it in a nutshell.
Okay. If you'd like to start there, Treasurer Hops?
Sure. I will say, it's pretty impressive you have a endorsement from Ruth Johnson, Secretary of State. Very nice.
Thank you. Actually, I have several letters, but I don't want to bring them all.
Yeah, and I know we had talked earlier. I don't have any questions. We had talked earlier, so I'm fine with questions.
Well, again, a very impressive resume and some mighty fancy recommendations from the people that have written, and I know you had more, but we only had so much room. The staples only go this far, you know. No, and I think I asked enough questions from you before, and I know one of the main reasons that you were applying is your hours have been cut at the other place.
Yeah, drastically.
Yeah, by about 20% or something, a little more than that, so.
Yeah, it's quite severe. Nobody's building anymore, not like they used to. And the prices of supplies and so forth have gone up so much.
Mhm.
They just can't afford it anymore, so
Right.
everything has dropped down drastically.
All right.
Okay, hang on. Your batteries are dead, I believe.
How can you tell my batteries are bad?
Well, let me fix that. Let me borrow this one.
Yeah.
Tired of hearing you anyway.
I was saying, I'm loud enough without that, eh?
Well, you might want to re-answer that question because they were saying they really couldn't hear you. As far as, I think you were talking about your hours being cut.
Yes, the hours are cut. It was a part-time job in the beginning. It was kind of like 32 hours a week, and now it's down barely to 20 hours a week, barely. So it's changed drastically.
Okay, do you have any other questions, Clerk Pern?
No, I'm done. I'll change those where you at.
Okay,
Got some there?
I should. So besides all of what you already said, tell us some more about yourself.
Well, I can go back a little bit further about my experience.
Give me 2 more for Kevin.
My son was in the military. He's a veteran now. He was stationed in Afghanistan, and I was part of the Blue Mothers, the Blue Star Mothers. I actually edited their newspaper for their chapter. It was chapter 99, and I did that for about a year. And then I was a chief editor for the newsletter. I was also a director of White Deer Village condominiums. That's further down, but that was many, many years ago. So I oversaw that complex. Aside from that, I mean, I don't know how far back you want me to go.
It's just a matter of what you'd like us to know. You don't have to dig any farther than you want to.
Okay. I've also worked for the sheriffs. When I was younger, I was a dispatcher at Ingham County for the sheriffs. So I've been here and there. I worked for Michigan Bell and AT&T, the phone company. And funny thing about that, I was planning on retiring, but back then I was pregnant with my son, and they were very, very strict, and I could only have 3 absences a year. Well, I tried to hide my pregnancy, and that didn't work out, so I got fired. That was the only place where I was let go.
Yeah, thank you for your honesty there.
But now, you can't do that now. So, I worked at Morgan Guaranteed Trust Company, processing stock certificates. I worked at various insurance companies, Employers Mutual, USF&G. I was a workman's workman's compensation adjuster where I issued out checks for people that were injured.
Okay, that's okay, unless you absolutely want to tell us.
No, I don't want to bore you anymore.
Well, it's not boring. It's certainly a varied background. What do you think your biggest weakness is?
My biggest weakness, I would probably have to say persistence. It's a weakness and a blessing at the same time, because sometimes I have something that is just isn't right, or, it can't be fixed, and I try to kill myself trying to fix it or make it right. And I sometimes have a hard time accepting that you just can't fix everything.
Okay. Why should we hire you?
Well, I have lots of reasons, actually. I just don't know how to start. First of all, I have the experience, I think, as far as zoning. And I also have a lot of legal experience that I think that would be very helpful to you. I work with a building agency, so I'm very familiar with the permits and so forth, and, how to get into BSNA, which is a program that we all use, as far as the townships. I have excellent references, and to be honest with you, I think I'm the best person.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. The other one you already covered, so with that, I'm good.
Good evening, thanks for being here. Yeah, you pretty much just answered my question. In all fairness, it was going to be the same question as for Mr. Stavinsky, is that what exactly to you is the Houghton Lake Building Agency, because I did not know how vast it was, and what is your affiliation and job duties basically with them, because you do work for them, but you've kind of already covered that, so you don't have to expand upon it if you don't want to.
Unless you want me to, I can go into detail.
That's fine. Nope,
Okay.
I have it right here, and you pretty much answered
Okay.
it, so thank you.
I guess you've covered pretty much all my questions, and I'm really impressed with your legal experience, your experience with the permits, your references, and all the experience that you have, and I look forward to working with you.
Thank you so much. I'd be honored.
Okay. Clerk Pern, have we had discussions to where we're talking about what a pay rate might be here in hours?
Starting pay was gonna be 8,000.
Okay. I did get an answer from the attorney that we do not necessarily have to set any hours unless we want to. Okay.
Well, the same thing I was saying to Josh, I'd like him to have some hours that are available here at the township someday per week, and be available by phone and by appointment anytime. And he agreed to that. I'm sure Tina will be the same way.
Okay. Thanks for coming. Is Josh still outside?
He probably is.
Should probably have somebody ask him to come back in. We need to make a decision. Thank you, Patty. Okay, Josh and Tina, thank you both for coming in and interviewing. The board did have a chance to review your applications and questions, which is our due diligence. It's now decision time between two solid candidates. At this point, I'm going to make motions as needed for a fail or pass vote from each board member. First, I'll make a motion that the board approve hiring Tina as the new zoning administrator for Lyon Township, effective 8/24/26 or sooner. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Hops.
Okay, is there any further discussion from the board? Okay, hearing none on that motion. Could we have a roll call, please, Clerk Pern?
Sure. Treasurer Hops,
Yes.
Trustee Monet,
No.
Trustee Detmer,
Yes.
Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes.
and Clerk Pern, no.
Okay, then that motion carries at 3-2. There's no reason for a further one. So congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
You are now the new zoning administrator for Lyon Township.
Thank you. I'm very honored. Thank you.
And any details you can work out with Clerk Pern going forward.
Okay.
Appreciate you coming in. Appreciate you both. These are tough decisions, but we got to make them. That's why we're here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, that moves us to,
Thank you, Josh. Thank you.
the board reports. Let me make sure I don't lose track of where I'm at. Moves us to the board and department reports. And any questions from the public? First is supervisor. Very similar to last month. My statutory duties include managing public improvements, overseeing township employees, acting as a legal agent for the township, and being responsible for efficient administration. I took an oath to do that, and I'm ultimately responsible. It's a public job. As supervisor, I recently made motions at board meetings, some more than once, to implement business practices and support grant applications and awards usage that I believe are best practices and in the best interest of the majority of the township residents. On some occasions, there were no board members willing to second the motions, or not all the board members were present, so no discussion or vote could be recorded for public record. Tonight, with all of us here, I intend to make some of those motions again and clearly state why I believe they're important. Hope that there's a second so we can have discussion and then get a roll call vote for the record, and then be done with that. On the majority of the comments, on the plus side, I've gotten many compliments on parks, grant awards, grant-related presentations, quality of the concerts, Facebook page, fire department recruiting, housekeeping progress, recycling availability, cemetery, phone calls being answered, emails being answered, polite staff, and more. Recently, I've had many discussions concerning public and private road end issues. Those will continue, and I will update the board as needed. Has anybody got any questions for me? Seeing none, or seeing no hands, we will move on to the treasurer.
Mine's pretty straightforward. That 750 should be 1,000 number of tax payments so far, which is actually pretty good. All of our millages are up to date, being paid. Clerk Pern and I are going to meet with Huntington Bank September 8th to discuss it's called a CDARS program to invest some of the township money to get a better return than just a simple bank rate. So there'll be more to come on that. And this was all, but Clerk Pern and I both interviewed the two candidates that were here earlier. I think that both of them were great. And for maintenance, the end of next week we should have that compost finally completed of turning the whole entire lot. So that's quite an accomplishment, I think. We finished painting all the playground equipment and pavilions. Every single one of them are done. We're still doing inspections once a week, replacing the material and doing our inspection sheets, replacing the fall material. And we had decided to look into the 2 septic tanks at Park 27 and the compost, just out of curiosity. And the last time they were pumped was 2019, so I figured it was probably due to have them done. And right now we're in the process, we're gonna start cleaning up the parking lot at Phoenix Park, because I think that park's been neglected. This is my opinion, of course, but I would like it more where you can see it from the road. Just clean up that whole parking lot area, so our guys are gonna be doing that. And we should have our compost gate, all the electrical's done, and we should have it installed hopefully by the end of next week for our automatic gate system, which probably, I don't know if it'll go in effect this year. I mean, I don't see why not, but I want to give people at least a couple months' notice on the transition on how it's going to happen. So it might happen this year, if not for sure, the first of next year when we open back up. Any questions?
I have a question. Are we talking about opening it up so we can see it from?
The road.
Yeah, the west thing, so taking down some trees
Yeah.
probably and get rid of some of them. Okay.
Really just brush, I don't know.
Yeah.
Trees, just the
With the
it's
brush.
overgrown.
Yeah, I see.
Weeds and little trees, but yeah, I think it should be opened up so you can see the park from the road.
Any questions from the public for Treasurer Hobbs?
Kevin, has a fee been established for the automatic gate yet?
I think we came with a one-time $20 fee.
Okay, is that a combination or a fob?
It'll be a combination of 4-digit. So everybody will get, it stores up to 500 different codes. So what'll happen is you'll come in and fill out an application, pay your $20. We need like license plate numbers because and it's gonna be I will say this, it will be very strict. If anybody's caught giving theirs out to people who didn't want to pay the $20, one time, you're out. Because this is, I think $20 is reasonable for a one-time fee. And you can come and go Monday through Saturday. It'll be open 8 to 5, I believe the hours will be, and closed Sunday. But instead of being Wednesdays and Saturdays, you have access, all week long, 6 days a week. So
We'll know when they become available.
yeah, I'm gonna for sure give at least a couple months' notice. I can't do it overnight,
Thank you.
but it's coming. Yes.
Is the gate for?
Lyon Township residents, yes. And the contractors will they still will pay their $800 fee. That won't change. They come and go now as they want anyways, so this doesn't really affect them all that much, because they had keys by paying that $800, so theirs will stay the same. Oh. Yeah, we approved this back in, geez.
I can't tell you the date, but I know we approved the cost for the gate and proved that we wanted to put it in.
And the $20 fee.
That should be in the minutes.
Yeah, I'm sure it's in a minute.
Oh, yeah. It was months and months ago. I don't remember offhand the month.
I believe it was June when it was brought up, proposal, at the council board meeting, or working with them. I don't recall it being further discussed or approved.
Yeah, we voted on it.
It wasn't in July.
No, I think it might have even been May. I mean, I could look it up for you. It's not a problem.
I didn't look at that, because I commented that I would rather not
Yeah, I can look it up for you.
How about in the back?
You said there was gonna be 500 codes, is that like the limit? I don't know how many people or households.
Yeah, right now, we're I think at maybe 400 that currently have the badge. So it'll hold 500, but if we needed to up it, it can be upped.
And that's not for recycle, correct?
No, that's for the compost.
Okay. Make sure.
Sam?
That's my question. Recycling bins are gonna still be outside?
I think we're gonna cross that bridge when we
Yeah,
get there.
for now, I guess. For time being. I'm not gonna say they're gonna stay there or they're gonna go behind the gate. I don't know. That's,
Then I wanna make a suggestion, because some of us said the last couple of years that the recycling bins get full and they gotta be taken care of, it's gonna cost you guys more money. I don't think that's the track, but I'm sure that's gonna happen. And you just don't appreciate the fact that it's open season, that anybody can just go there, because
I agree.
there's no wherewithal on that.
I absolutely
I thought having
agree.
the spot, or whatever you call it, would be that the recycling bin would be inside.
That certainly is a possibility.
Yes, it is.
Well, I think we can consider it.
It is
It will be
certainly-
definitely considered.
Yeah, I don't want this to turn into comments as much as just questions about what he said, but yeah, definitely consider. What else you got?
That's it.
Is it gonna be like punch in certain numbers, or do you
You-
get like a card and hold the card up to it?
You'll have a 4-digit code, so it's a keypad.
Got it.
Okay, we'll try and keep moving. Who is next on the seat here? The clerk.
Okay, well, we're undergoing a bit of a slowdown after the election of August 4th. It was pretty hectic in a couple weeks before that. Now we've begun to gear up already for the November 3rd election. A bit of a note, the absentee ballots will be sent out on September 25th. September 25th, that's only a little over a month from now. Please notify the clerk's office of any change of address. Call the office to verify the address you have on file and your alternate address should you want the ballot to be sent there. We still have a big percentage of ballots returned for incorrect address. This figure should be very low, and it's not. Remember, the post office does not forward election material. All notifications and postings from the clerk's office are being done in a timely manner. Approved minutes, past resolutions, and all communications are on file. I had 3 visits in the last 6 working days from Interim Chief Fay. Each time he has brought in a name and information on new recruits for both fire and EMS. I'm very impressed with that. We also had countless calls about the fire department doors being open, sightings at the concerts of the fire truck and the fire dog Ember, and the open house, etc., etc. I'd like to acknowledge the marriage of my deputy clerk, Courtney. The wedding took place this last week in Biloxi, Mississippi. I'm very happy to have her back. That's all I have.
Okay, any questions, short of we will have a comment period. If you got any questions pertinent to this. Yes, Phil?
Yes, Mr. Turner, are you confident with the elections that there was no fraudulent ballots cast?
Do I have the number with me tonight?
So I said, are you confident that no fraudulent ballots were cast at the election?
Well, we're pretty confident, yes, and the county clerk has let us know that she's pleased with our number. We still have another week to go before everything is absolutely official and final, but yes, I am, so far.
Can you assure us that the absentee ballots are going to be properly received and handled?
Well, they have been so far. The things that I'm upset about is that the people would call later and say, well, listen, it went to this other address. I said, this is the address we have on file, and it's on the qualified voter list, and if it's not changed on there, it won't be changed.
So as far as you're concerned, the way the system is set up, then there's nothing to be alarmed about or concerned about as far as the security of the past election and the one coming?
No, I don't think so. We keep our stuff under lock and key most of the time. At least one of us are there, and if it's not, if neither one of us are, the door's locked, and all these things are secure. So we do the best we can, Phil.
Any other questions for Clerk Byrne?
May I address this real quick?
Sure.
So is it Greg Douglas here?
No, not.
Okay, I was supposed to address or go over the road end issue, but due to a situation, I'm being activated over to Oklahoma County.
No,
emergency.
yeah.
So if we can address this at a later date,
I suspect it's going to be addressed at every meeting we have.
but I have to leave, so I apologize for the.
No, that's fine. Go take care of business.
Kind of emergency call that I have, so, okay?
Yeah.
By all means, yeah.
Thanks for letting us know.
Absolutely.
Okay. So next, we have Trustee Detmer.
I don't have much of a report to do, just, I'm happy to see that Central Park Boulevard, the big hole that's in the middle of the road, has been patched up. I went to the open house at
Can't
the
hear.
fire station and was impressed by the things that they have there. And as usual, I walk the neighborhood with my dog Izzy and talk to different people and about things that are going on, and things are going well from the people that I talk to. That's it.
Okay, Mr. May, I think we're up to you.
All right, good evening. I don't see a spot on tonight's agenda for board comments, so mine's going to be twofold. I don't have much in the way of a report. As I stated at the work session, I will no longer be pursuing information on a fertilizer ban at this point in time, because just as much as I wanted to make sure that procedures and requirements were handled properly during the quote-unquote sewer wars, I want to make sure that any fertilizer ban has the scientific data and research behind it first and foremost. Since I'm doing dual here, as far as recycling, as far as I'm concerned, to save Mother Earth and our lake, we should have more recycling bins, and it should be, even if we have to have a tax increase, because I don't want to see the trash sitting around, I don't want to see it in the lake, and I really don't care who uses the bins, because they are public. I mean, to say that it's just for us, if I'm driving up here for the first time and I see a recycle bin and I don't feel like throwing it out my window, I'm going to the recycle center. I think it's a good thing. That being said, in June,
There will be, it's on here, it's not on the agenda for board, for the
yeah,
comments.
well,
What were you asking about? Oh, public comment?
no, there's nothing on here for board comments, so mine's twofold.
Okay.
In June, at one of our board meetings, I made some comments that I want to clarify for the public. I made it very clear that when we had a discussion that I stated that I do not care what this board thinks of me, and I want to clarify why I said that. In life, we all have one path to follow. My path may not align with these gentlemen, but I am going to stay true to my path. Everyone who knows me knows I'm about the Constitution, the rights of due process, laws, regulations, and procedures, and I will not waver. So if that means that there are people on this board or even in the public do not like that, I don't have a problem with it, because I'm under the clear mindset that if you follow the rules, you follow the procedures, you follow the guidelines, the only one you have left to complain to is yourself or go to the state, because we've done our job. And here's a few examples why I'm going to stay true to my path. There's been numerous procedural requirements wrong in my time on this board. We have a trash assessment resolution that's never been addressed, that the board states that we will never address it, but yet we address it. Every single committee appointment is not done properly according to state law. Not a one. They are not given term limits. They are not staggered. in the 1 to 3 and 5-year increments as required by state law. There are just so many procedural things for me that are wrong that I'm once again under the clear mindset. If you can't get the small things right, you can't get the big things right. Thank you.
You are correct that I didn't have it on the agenda, but it is on the process sheet here. But
Yeah, it's not on
you'll
my
get
copy.
another shot. How's that sound?
Okay.
Okay, we already had maintenance via Treasurer Hops. Fire Department, Chief Fay.
All right, good evening, everybody. All right, and the reports are over there if anybody wants a copy of them. So we responded to, this is for the month of July, we responded to 10 requests for service. We had 13 total EMS calls, 9 of them were turned over, made 4. We had 8 fire calls, made 6. We unfortunately turned over 2 of those. There's a breakdown of them. Training-wise, we did our monthly business meeting, went through driving the different apparatus with the new folks, pumped water with the engine, 623, went over the power cot use with the ambulance, 632. We did water shuttle training, so we pumped water out of the dump tank, pumped it with the engine, 623 and 640. And then we went down to Town Line Drive and pumped water out of the dry hydrant there, did pump training, drafted the water from the hydrant, fed 623. We completed all unit inspections this last month. And all of that was done in-house with our team. Completed the station inspection with Greg Pern at the end of the month. Community involvement, we took 623 and Ember down to Park 27 for a couple of concerts. And we also had a group, we took the ladder to Houghton Lake to Walmart for the National Night Out. So we were down there for a few hours and got a lot of pictures with the dog. People seem to enjoy that. A couple of things that we had going on down at the station. We had a small propane leak and the repairs were made by Webster Gardner. There was no charge, there's no issue at this time. It was on our vapor propane tank. It's a small pigtail. There was kind of a littler one, kind of a weaker style. Now it's a hogtail, according to them. So that's all taken care of. And then I got with Google and Apple Maps to correct the location of the fire department. So now it shows actually at the 10555 North Harrison Road versus it was showing up down at Phoenix Avenue, Park 27. So that should be corrected on everybody's maps. And then upcoming events, we've got the basic life support ambulance license renewal. That's in process right now. I did this for the month of July, but we've already had our meet and greet. That was on August 15th. That had a nice turnout. Upcoming, we have a generator repair. So that's going to be done here in August. They're replacing a leaking block heater and installing a de-icing filter on that. And then doing the preventive maintenance on both units. So that'll be taken care of and up to date. And then on Monday, Lyon Township hosted the Fire Chief Association meeting, and that went well. So that's all I have. Any questions from anybody?
I have one, sir. There was a lot of disappointed people that the last pancake breakfast got canceled. Do we have another one on schedule?
Yeah, we'll do that on Memorial Day and 4th of July. That's our intent. And enough people have offered to volunteer and help. We can make that happen. So that is definitely our intent. And unfortunately, we missed the last concert, but the Kids Bash over in Roscommon, we had been asked to take the dog over there. It got rained out, got rescheduled, so we met that obligation and unfortunately had to miss part, so.
Possibility of scheduling another pancake breakfast other than those two, or is it too much work?
We'll see. Let's move into that. I know we also do the pancake breakfast at Winterfest. We help with that.
Yeah.
So there'll be one there in the early winter. We
Okay.
talked about Labor Day weekend, but a lot of people are getting packed up, ready to get out of
Oh,
here.
yeah.
It's been tried in the past and was less successful, so
Okay.
we'll hold.
Are you guys going to participate in the Fireman's Memorial September?
I will be at training. I will bring it up to the guys, and if any of them want to go over or take a unit over or
Yeah, I think it would be good.
understood. I've
I
got-
mean, there's a lot of I don't know, there's 20 departments there or something, so,
I've got instructor training,
okay. That's more important, but
unfortunately.
maybe the assistant chief will,
Yeah,
if he's got time to do it.
see who has, yep.
I had two quick questions. Philip Dupree Henry.
He has not turned in his application yet, so that's.
Well,
Go ahead.
my question is, and then Brianna McGillen?
McGillen, yes,
These are coming through you, right?
yes.
Okay, so long as they're coming through you.
McGillen came through me, Dupree picked up a flyer when he was in paying his taxes.
That's all right, as long as you see them before we do,
Yes.
I'm okay with
So
that.
I've got McGillen's application, you folks have that,
Yeah.
so we can
I
get
have
that
both
approved.
of them here, so are we ready to go on
I
both?
don't know that you have his application unless he dropped it off today.
No, we've got his
I can look
resume.
real quick.
You've got his resume, but
Yeah.
not his
Yeah.
actually filled out application.
Not application.
So let's wait to approve him
Please.
until
Yep.
he brings his in.
Yes.
So
validate that he
her
wants-
application is in
Is
the
turned in,
back.
she's ready,
Yeah.
wanting to go.
All right,
Which one's the paramedic again?
That was Dupree.
Dupree, okay.
okay, is there any questions from the public for Chief Fay?
I have one question. How many 911 calls do we receive in the past month?
For the month of July, we had 13 EMS calls and 8 fire calls.
And how many did we respond to?
We turned over 9 EMS calls and we turned over 2 fire calls.
Turned over meaning,
Houghton Lake Ambulance Authority ran on the EMS calls because we didn't have an EMS available.
and so you don't have EMS, so you have to pass those on?
Correct, we have 2 EMS on our books. If they're not available, Houghton Lake Ambulance Authority runs advanced life support. They're auto dispatched with us. We let them know that we didn't have a crew available.
What kind of response time do they have to serve the community here?
I believe, just from past, I would say typically they beat us to it, to a resident, because we go from home to the barn to get the ambulance and then to wherever we're going. It also depends on where they are. So we've had conversation with them. They know that we're shorthanded right now, so they've made pretty good response
So
time.
if you were staffed at a different level, then you'd be responding to one of these calls?
Yes, we would be responding. I don't know if we'll be any faster, but we're good, we're definitely gonna try.
How do we keep the public informed about what they can expect in terms of response time? In other words, should they get in their car to drive to Winston, and Grayling, or should they wait for somebody coming from another township?
I can tell you right now that Houghton Lake Ambulance Authority is 20 minutes or less because they're in the building, so when they get a call.
If you don't mind.
Well, I'm going to interject that because I have talked to them about it.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Okay.
I would say it's your individual call. If you'd like to call 911, they're gonna be here as quick as they can. They can run lights and sirens, and depending on this information that they've received from you or a loved one, they can start there over the phone and they're gonna get rolling. Like, I would recommend calling the ambulance.
So is part of the goal to reduce that response time or to increase the responses that are possible locally here?
Hopefully, we can do both, yes. As we get more EMS personnel on staff, trained up, depending on where they live, as quick as they can get to the station and get in the rig and get another person, so we have 2 licenses to roll, we're gonna go. It depends on where they are, but that's our intent, is to be there as quick as we can. We will continue with Houghton Lake. First one there's no ego there. Whoever's there the fastest is gonna take care of you. And then we're gonna assist each other.
Any other questions for Chief Fay?
Just wanted to reply that, me and Steve talked about that a long time ago when the personnel get hired, about keeping staff at the station for medical call. And that was greatly reduced the response time.
I think the long-range plan that we have explored is eventually getting to a millage and trying to go 24/7, but we're nowhere near that now.
It's a possibility, but it takes people to, having people here that can respond, and we're working on it the best we can. If you know of anybody, please send them our way. Somebody else?
That really was my
Oh.
question, the 24 hours, but that's not within the current
funding that we have.
We have a millage coming up next year and then the following year for equipment, and to get a millage and prepare it and try and go 24/7 is a major undertaking. It's not in the foreseeable radar, but it will be by next year. We'll be certainly talking about it. We got to get the current millages.
And we are set up for
Passed.
basic life support, so if you're having a heart attack, we want Houghton Lake to still come, or if it's an advanced life support issue, we want them coming because they have the equipment, the paramedics on board, like, they're gonna give advanced care, they can push drugs, they can do a lot of things that we can't at our level, our licensure.
So when we call 911, then we get you guys, is that right?
You get central dispatch in
Central
Roscommon,
dispatch.
and they auto-tone both us and Houghton Lake Ambulance.
So we'll just get, whoever gets there fast first, is that correct?
We both roll.
And it's been that way for a couple of years.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
People, because I hear frequently, we don't have coverage. We do have coverage. That's what we have. But you're, going 24/7 would be an ultimate goal, yes.
Garish has supported us, Denton supported us, the dispatch knows who's where, what the emergency is, they're gonna dispatch to the best of their ability to get the person, here the fastest.
I had to call 911.
Yep,
Both Lake and UP, it was within 15 minutes. You both did a great job.
thank you.
Wonderful.
We do have good service.
We do try, thanks.
It's good to hear.
Okay.
Point of clarification, please. So in central dispatch, you get the 911, they will send both, and if it's in a township, it's basic life support pickup, they send, notify you, but they would also send, notify somebody with advanced life support, and two are always answered, unless it's, say, Gary, for example, has advanced life support.
Yes.
Is it happening in Gary Township, is it just in Gary notified, is that right?
And Ms. Chief Gilliam's here too, if their ambulance is tied up, I think they have a second person that would.
So anytime Ryan Township gets thrown out, Houghton Lake Ambulance is thrown out with them because there's no having the hospitals want them to have paramedics. So if you're having a heart attack, having stroke, whatever it is, maybe you're having an accident, you're thrown out with them. If something happens and Houghton Lake is out and not there, there's a second call. So if something happens and Ryan is thrown out and Houghton Lake is not available, they'll know instantaneously when we call 911. So they're going to have an ambulance there. It's just a matter of what kind of services we get from
I apologize for
Yeah.
terminology that I'm a little off.
Real quick question or not, or comment. Number one, on the short stretch of Military Road that is in Roscommon County.
That's fine.
Continuing to get emergency response to the wrong road. I myself was involved in one, a gentleman that was having a heart attack was involved in one. The ambulance went to the wrong location. And we had, in my case, it was just what was a perceived damage. So that's a comment. Second comment is along the same line, so I'm gonna make it right here. At one time, I was running a meeting here, and I had a gentleman having a perceived heart attack, and the first thing they asked me, do you have an AED available? There is no AED available in this facility that I know of.
It's over in the office.
In the other side, or
It's on the other side by the office, assuming that we might see somebody drop in the parking lot.
the problem is, you weren't here, those doors were locked.
No, I'm saying, well, okay, good point. What organization were you here with a meeting?
I was here with the CCOA.
Oh, okay, no, that's a real good point. We'll have to fix that somehow, some way.
Thank you.
As far as the address,
Well, it could as easily probably be in this hallway. There's nothing saying it has to be on the other side of that wall.
Just a comment, thank you, Supervisor.
No, I appreciate that.
Google.
That makes sense.
I wouldn't mind knowing what it is. Yep.
Okay, anything else? And then we're going to move on if not. Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, dude.
Next is our sexton, Bruce.
Okay, at the cemetery, we sold 2 lots. I had 2 burials. One was a full burial, one was a cremation, and we had 3 headstone placed. Want to let everybody know the water's been on now for 3 weeks, finally. And I'm in the process of painting the chapel and the garage and the water house this week.
You must have volunteered.
No, because I like doing it.
I don't know anybody.
And I care about that
I don't know
cemetery.
anybody that wants to paint, but okay.
I really care about that cemetery. I talk to those people all the time.
You do a heck of a job there, I will give you that.
Do they talk back?
Sometimes the little headstone pops up.
Okay, any questions in regards to the sexton or the cemetery?
Oh, thank you, I appreciate that. Actually, I seen it around there today, so.
I've never seen the cemetery look so good. My life.
He does a great job, there's no question. It goes hand in hand with he cares.
I'll just add a little something to it. Every time you have a function over there, anytime, whatever it is, or you're dealing with a few people, I get the call. I don't know why the clerk's office is the clearinghouse, but it is.
Just because I serve beers.
Oh. Well, give us a time.
So that new water line is a tap?
Oh,
You buried a keg out there, what'd you do?
there's no hope.
Okay, well, thank you, sir. Stay in the seat, and we're gonna, let me line this up. Okay, now we're on to the ordinance officer.
Yeah, the cemetery was the happy note. Okay. Okay, so I had nine complaints. 3 complaints about leaf blowing in the street. And as you know, as we talked about at the work session, we're trying to implement a ordinance make it illegal to blow leaves in the streets, on other people's property, and across the lake road into the state land. So I'm hoping to have that in place by October 15th. Sorry to push you guys, but yes.
Okay, I'm sure we can steal one that fast from another township.
No, there's only one that has one, but you can go to Denver and get theirs. Okay. I had a complaint at Fawn Motel for junk, and I got with the health department on that one. And as it turns out, she had cleaned it up pretty well, so that's pretty much closed. There's other issues going on over there that has nothing to do with us. I also had a complaint about water diversion on Innsbrook, where the person is has a pipe and it's going on the person's property. We don't get involved in that. That also is a property dispute. I had one about Go Fast Rental, that's closed. I went and talked to them, that's complete. And 2 on junk, one on Pengree and one on Minnehaha. They started cleaning up on Minnehaha, and I just sent the letter to the person at Pengree. And then also some foul odor on Minnehaha. I had the health department involved in that, and also environmental control. And I have to admit, this person is really doing everything he can to cooperate. So. Okay. Now on the thermostat. Okay, I put this out, and I was late, kind of late putting it out, so I don't know if everyone got it, because I wanted to talk very briefly about it. And I want you to know that I haven't been sitting on my hands. I've been working with the Sheriff's Department, with Ben Lowe, and I've also been working with the County Road Commission. And we're working on some things. We're down there. But I just wanted to very briefly touch on what this means. So so that we're all on the same page and understand each other, because there is some confusion. So the Jacobs ruling is actually a court order. Okay? It addresses the area of roads that meet the shoreline line. No person has the right to prevent another person from using the public access. Everybody and anybody can use it. You can't swim there, you can't picnic there, you can't sit there. It's all about obstruction. You cannot obstruct. You can launch a kayak, or you can run in the water. That's about all you can do. But if someone's there, and I talked to Ben Lowe, who's the undersheriff, and I asked him this question: can you force somebody off the road in? He said, absolutely not, because it's not a law. And that's a civil matter. And that's what he told me, and you're welcome to call him and confirm what I just said. So that being said, there is a law, and it's the 2012 Public Act 56, Michigan law. And that's very strict, and that is a misdemeanor. So basically, all you can do, and that mostly concerns docks. Oh, I might add, something I forgot to add. All dock permits are done through the clerk. Okay? Not me. Anybody, you can't deny anyone from going on any dock. Any boat can come off the lake, go up to the dock, drop somebody off, or pick somebody off and go off their merry way. Nobody can deny them than that. Not even an association, nobody. They're public. So, what you cannot do, moor or dock a boat between midnight and sunrise. Install or use a boat hoist or boat anchorage device on the public road. Block or obstruct another person's access to or from the lake. Install or maintain an unauthorized dock and public road end. Use the public road end or dock in a manner that violates restrictions and establishments. So what I'm going to say, because there were incidents over there, if there's people partying on the dock, call the police. Really, they can be fined heavily for that. Please call the police. Don't try to take it upon yourself. Call the police. If it's a road end issue, you can call me. If it's one person that's sunbathing, you can call me. But if it's a big party, call the police, please. Okay, the last thing that I want to address, as Sam said, is the parking. So we're going to be taking like, that's the water, you're the lakefronters, this is the road. Anyone is allowed to park, and I drove around with the road commission, and we talked about this. Anyone is allowed to park all along that road. That's all public access. But they cannot obstruct. They cannot block a driveway. They have to be 30 feet from the stop sign. The road that comes here, that's called Bruce Street. They can park all along that. The road that comes out from the lake, they can park all along that. But you cannot obstruct. An emergency vehicle must be able to go through. So, and that's on both sides. There's no signs that say there's no parking. It's a public road. But again, and I actually answered a call where a guy literally was parked right up to the stop sign, right up to the road end, and I made him move. And that's something I will do. I'll be very strict about that. So, and that's the end of my report.
Well, thank you, sir. I do not want to turn this into a free-for-all.
Oh, can I add one more thing?
Sure.
Anybody that wants any information, our ordinance 62 pertains to that. That's on our webpage. Anyone that wants any information about the Jacobs ruling, they can go and Google it, and they can do it. Anyone that wants information about the law, Public Act 56, it was easy to obtain. I just Googled it and printed it. And it's very informative, and it really lays out the rules, especially 56. That's a serious, serious law.
Okay, thanks. So as the ordinance officer, he's informing you of how he's going to handle the situation. to the best of his knowledge right now. I would really like to stay away from arguments in regards to disputes with what he just said. I don't know that we're going to be able to get away with that. I can tell you that I've been in almost constant contact with attorney. I have been in contact with Garrish Township, Brian Hill. In the end, there's going to be a better understanding for everybody, but it's not now today. So let's try and keep that in mind. If we have questions for Bruce, that's fine. But disputing what he's saying right now, we're not really done doing the research. I have emails coming back from a couple of people yet, and I share them with him, and we go with that.
I just want you to know that if I get the unfortunate thing is, as Samuel said, whatever happens on Saturday and Sunday, sometimes I don't get the complaint until Monday or Tuesday. So there's nothing that I can do after the fact. In fact, there's been many instances, there's nothing. Some people have my cell phone and they text me. Once I get the complaint, I give them my cell phone number so that we can stay in constant contact. I want you to know that. Okay?
That's good, appreciate that.
I have a question. If an audience member wants to go first, that's more than.
So is there any general questions that we can avoid trying to nail down details that we're not really prepared to nail down today? Sure. We can start over here in the front row. How's that sound?
The people on Somerset, they put a dock in. That dock has to be like in the middle, line up with the middle of their property, correct?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, here we go again. I can tell you that I read it just can't be on the neighbor's property. Once again, this has been going on how many years? 30?
Since the late 1940s.
We're not going to resolve it tonight. We got to be nice to each other because answers will be coming, but they're not here right now. How about we'll go down this way and come back around. So, Phil.
Yes, must all complaints about potential ordinance violations be submitted in writing?
For me to act, for me to fully act, it has to go on that little blue sheet that's in the office. Sometimes, I might get a call, and I'll go always fill and check out, and then I'll tell that person they need to file a formal complaint.
So burning complaint, it's not a real-time complaint. Most somebody burning, you get to the point, a day or two later.
So I'll give you an example. Greg actually called me about somebody burning, you talking about burning leaves, right? Yeah, like Greg called me about somebody burning leaves and I ran over them. Okay, that's kind of different than.
What about the guy that's burning leaves down past the store? We've talked about this many times. The smoldering fire down there goes in.
Well, he's not burning leaves, he's burning wood.
Uses smoke as an advertising technique. You know what I'm talking about?
I know where you're.
Exactly, yeah, I know exactly. I don't think that they're burning leaves though. I think that they're burning.
Wood trash.
Yeah, they're burning it in a ring.
They're
burning in a ring, which is no different than somebody having a campfire.
Well, it's not a campfire. This is a business.
Okay, Phil, I'm going to ask you to do a formal complaint with them and we'll look at it again. I looked last year. We can't sit here all night talking about this. No, I went and looked and they were burning wood inside a ring.
I said, come in and make a formal complaint and I will act on it. And you never did.
I was told that I had to put it in writing when Paul was doing your job.
Yes, and this board has approved when we hired him that he will deal with complaints that are put in writing.
And I even gave you my cell number.
Okay, well, I didn't like to do a real-time report. So
You come in tomorrow, I'll give you tomorrow.
If he decides he wants to deal with it, that's his call as the ordinance officer.
Very good.
Okay. How you doing, Dan?
This is a point of clarification about parking on Somerset. There's no parking within 500 feet of the launch.
Right, there are, and that's very correct, because there are no parking signs down there. I wasn't referring to that, I don't want to mislead you, I wasn't referring to that at all. where there's no parking signs, you cannot park there. In fact, I'll take it even further. Where the park is, we have an ordinance. You can't pull all those four-wheelers off right up to that beach. We have an ordinance, yes.
Okay, okay, fire back.
First, just, in order to create the gap for not turning this into, do you have any idea, and I appreciate you guys are moving forward. Any idea, maybe it's more clarification of how many more meetings down the road, who you're working with to get this clarification on? Specifically, early in the instance. I'm talking about the Bismarck.
I can't talk about Bismarck because that's under investigation.
Yeah, that was number one. We don't know anything.
And I agree 100%. It will be education. I did want to publicly thank Bruce, and also you, Paul, exceeded my expectations on promptness to reply to our complaint. And Bruce, you got a thankless job, so I'm going to thank you.
Appreciate that.
I can envision that a special meeting might have to take place subject to deal with all the questions. Like I said, Brian Hill was gone, the chief was on vacation. I'm glad he showed up tonight. I forgot his name, but there's some pieces of this puzzle that need to come together for us, and then we can start to think about where we're going with it. Okay, switching over to here. Go ahead, sir.
All the many marinas on Samoset. Now, the deputy address to you, for the sheriff's department, you want to be in one lump, you want every address, for a complaint for every house, because there are people that have multiple boats, and they're not registered to them. The boats are supposed to be registered to the owner of the house.
Yes,
Yep.
that is true. That is true. And I know who they are.
There's a difference.
There's, I mean, I can drive down Samoset and it's not the docks that are the public docks. It's a lot of things going on down there.
Oh,
There's blockage, I mean,
I agree.
there's all kinds
I
of
just want
stuff
a fair
going down
government.
there.
You know, I mean, I'll abide by the rule on this end, but it's gotta be all the.
Well, it's got to go,
You can't-
oh, no, I mean, I'm not biased one way or another. I mean, if you're not doing the rules, I'm gonna act on it.
I would add also, this is one of the reasons we're asking for written complaints. When I was temporary ordinance officer, I don't know how many times people would tell me something. Your best bet is to do a formal complaint with him.
I brought pictures of every house and
Pictures are good. Pictures are very good.
Okay, nobody can hear you talking, so.
That's a good point. So whoever files a complaint, nobody will ever know who filed that complaint with me. I will keep that totally to myself.
Okay, that's, the second part of that, excuse me, the second part of that is if you go to court, your name comes up.
Well, you won't, right, you won't.
We don't have to say anything. No, I mean, because people, you have to understand, you can file a complaint and you remain anonymous to that person. But if you end up in civil court, they have a right to know who's complaining about it.
I will never divulge whoever made that complaint ever. And believe me, I get asked every single time, so.
All right, swinging to this side. Oh, let's go to the far corner. How's that?
Say John to laugh.
Yep.
Can I clarify something? Does that mean when my daughters come up to visit me, they cannot go down and sunbathe on the dock?
I'm not going to answer that question today.
It's pretty sad. We're all here to enjoy the lake. You can't even-
And that's what I don't want to try and get into today is the disagreements about whether we believe.
I think all that is in Prop 56. I think if you read Prop 56, that'll pretty much lay it out, what you can do on that dock and what you cannot do on that dock. And he's right, we're not going to answer specifically what you can do on that dock because you have the ability to gather that information for yourself.
All right, swinging around this way. Anybody in the back? Okay, how about you?
I want to also thank Bruce for taking the call, for helping us in this situation. So kind and helpful.
Thank you.
I do have a comment, though, about, you're stating anybody can park on Samoset anywhere.
Well, you cannot, not anywhere. Okay, I'm gonna do a
Well,
visual.
no, I
here.
know, 30 feet from the stop sign.
You can park along the road, okay? You can't park this way, and the other person park this way, because then you're obstructing.
Well, my concern is an obstruction for emergency vehicles.
Right, and that's
People
exactly
park
what,
all up and down Samoset.
that's what I
gonna be a
said.
problem.
There has to
Roads and
be,
trailers can't get by.
yeah, somebody, I mean, they call me, because if it doesn't look like there's gonna be, an emergency vehicle to get through there, then I will make a move.
And again,
It isn't so much the cars.
Okay.
We all know what it is. So it's the four-wheelers, it's the,
okay, I don't know that we all know, but I'm gonna say this again.
yeah.
If you feel threatened or you have serious trespass issues, call the police. Okay, now, their definition is, excuse me, just a second, their definition is, can the vehicle get through? That's not the same as, are they parked half on the road or not? This is another one of them things, we're not gonna get to a definitive answer today. But the law, the state law is you cannot block traffic. It doesn't say you can't park on a road.
I will tell you this, working with the sheriff's department, as I've done, I know that they're gonna be patrolling down there more often. Okay, that was a point that I made and asked them to do. Okay?
Okay, coming around, sure.
Not about Samoset, so take a deep breath. I'm just curious, because I've got a meeting that there was a lengthy discussion about property owner concern, lakefront owner concern regarding a community business that was going on public road end, and all I heard you say was you closed that case. And I'm wondering,
I
can you
think-
share any details about the Go Fast rental? Can you share any details about how that was closed?
I
Or
can.
not? If you can't, I don't want to.
No, I can. No, I absolutely can. So I went, and I know Jeremy. I do know the owner there. I called him. He wasn't even aware of it, what was going on, what they were doing. They were,
Taking a shortcut instead of going to West
Yeah,
Launch. But
yes.
he wasn't aware of the owner.
he wasn't. And I talked to the people that were there, and they assured me that they would move. They wouldn't do it anymore. And I know Jeremy called them, and I haven't had a complaint since.
So those were his employees that were doing it?
It was his employees, that were doing it, that's correct.
So the owner doesn't have to open up competition now,
Uh,
I was just curious.
Yeah, I know,
You might have to be in that position.
Right, but I'm just telling you, that's how it was closed.
Okay,
Okay?
good, great, good job. That's all.
Okay,
Okay, his head's big enough as it is now after tonight. Jeez.
okay, we're gonna move on.
Oh,
And thank you.
I'm not done.
Okay.
No. Bruce, yes, Bruce, have a seat, please. I'm not done. I'm not done. Just a quick question. I want some clarification. I'll probably open up a can of worms tonight, but here we are. So I did a bunch of research with legal scholars that I know, and I've talked to the Roscommon County Road Commission numerous times, and I want to know if you personally know this to be true based on Baum Family Trust versus Babel 2010, that the Supreme Court for the state of Michigan ruled that riparian rights for homes, in this case, we'll say in Samoset, that are on this side of the road, do not lose that right or privilege, their riparian rights, just because a public road cuts through. But they do not own the easement, and they do not own the sandy shore up to the water's edge.
I did not want to get into that, Tim, but you did.
No, I'm just asking you if you heard this.
That's another fight for another day.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, and I asked my friends that work for the state, so, all right. So we'll just leave it at that.
It's another fight for another day.
There you go.
Okay, thank you, Bruce. Parks and Rec is on here. I'll briefly mention that we had our first meeting with some new members. Didn't do a whole lot right off the bat. There's a couple of things coming up in announcements that I'll get to by midnight. So that would conclude comments from the board or the department heads. Thank you, folks. Okay, we'll move on for a while here, see if we can get some of it done. Maybe we're going to have to take a break. Next on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda, and for today's meeting, the consent agenda includes a check register from 7/17/26 to 8/20/26, and the invoice register from 7/18/26 to 8/20/26 as printed and delivered to me today and is on the table there. I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda as just stated. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, a second by Hops. Any discussion from the board on it?
Yes. I don't know. I don't have the listed consent agenda listed in the agenda, but that's just a formality. So at our work session, Supervisor Bertrand made reference to a FOIA request researched by our then zoning admin, and that he should get paid for that. And I'm wondering, is this AccuCode on here for 15616, as we discussed, is the one you've referenced?
I believe it would be, yes.
All right. That is a violation of state law. I checked again since the work session. All FOIA requests, monies must come into the township for the operational function only of that department. And that comes from Loomis Law Firm, not to line someone's pockets. If we choose to give some money for someone doing research, it has to be pre-approved by the board, and it was not. Supervisor Bertrand, nor Treasurer Hops, nor Clerk Pern, not that I'm saying they did, have the unilateral authority under state statute to cut a check with your township money. And it was never approved by this board. So I would like, at this point in time, I'd like to move that we remove the consent agenda, that the invoice register out of it, put it into the agenda as I'm allowed to do by law, and we discuss it further.
I'll just have you know, though, there's been no check that I know of cut. I haven't seen one.
Well, it's right here for 15616, and it says it's paid.
I have not seen.
Oh, I'm not saying it was you. I'm just saying you three are in the office, but I was just referencing what I was told by my legal people I know, that no one in the office has the legal authority.
I agree.
So I don't know how we have a check here as referenced at the work session dated 8/3/2026 for $156.16. Amount due is $0. Status paid, journalized, yes, which means it's already been cashed. And paid.
No, it can't have been cashed.
It says paid, amount due $0.
Yeah, it's
not pending. It's not open.
Courtney hasn't done any checks yet, correct?
Well, he got the check somehow.
You're talking about for Robert?
Yeah.
Oh, we got that a while ago with the bands, 2 weeks ago.
Before we brought it up?
I think so, and I think it was at a request of the supervisor.
We brought it up before, I brought it up before and offered it as a solution to pay him, and Mr. Monet disputed it then. If he got paid, I'm willing to live with the consequences, myself personally, if that shouldn't have been done and whatever the fine might be to me.
It's the whole township. We are a board. You do not have unilateral authority
I
to step
understand
on
that.
our
I
toes and
understand
put
that.
us under the bus
I
without
understand
board
that.
approval. We all have an
If
equal
you would
say.
if you would like to try and pull it now, I wasn't aware that he actually got it. I know that's what we had discussed about.
How'd he get it without a signature from the authorization from the proper person?
Look at me.
You don't cut checks.
No, but if it happened and it was because of something I did, then I am the responsible person. And that's, if I screwed up in your eyes, if I screwed up in the eyes of the law, I'm fine. That is what happened. And now we're either moving forward or we talk about it some more.
And here we are again, that there was retroactive pay without board authority, and this time Supervisor Bertrand took it upon himself to unilaterally use your tax dollars, which was supposed to be an operational function of those FOIA requests, instead of giving it to the township, put it in someone's pocket.
That is correct. The issue was whether or not he got paid before for this stuff, which we still need to resolve.
He never has.
Clerk Byrne was gonna look and see if he could find any checks that were ever cashed by him.
I've never found any
Okay.
before that.
I'll own it. I don't have a problem owning it.
So I'd like to remind this board that under state law, if you approve the consent agenda, that means you are unanimously, well, you're under individual votes, obviously, approving that payment. And that can come back to haunt us. I just want you to know that's what the law says. That's the way statute works. Once the consent agenda is done, you cannot backtrack. So here we are.
Here we are at 8:30. I can run a motion to pass it as it is, and if that fails, I can run a motion to remove it. If it turns out that I'm the culpable party, that the fact that he got this money, I will own up to it and do whatever it takes to make things right. But we're not going to sit here tonight and keep going about it because that's pointless.
And it was
Is there
brought
any
at-
other
and it was
comments
brought
from the
at work
board?
session that you didn't have the right to do that, and you did it anyway.
That was your statement, yes.
All right.
So for the board, is there any more board comments? And we'll run it. If it doesn't pass, it doesn't pass, and we can pull it. All I'm saying is if I screwed it up, it's me. So let's keep moving. Any other board comments then on the motion to approve it as it was written and delivered to us today? Okay, so we had the second. So on the approval of the consent agenda for check register 717 to 820, invoice register 718 to 820. With the money involved, we better have a roll call, please. Clerk Byrne.
Okay. Clerk Byrne, yes. Trustee Monet,
No.
Trustee Detmer,
Yes.
Treasurer Hobbs,
No.
Supervisor Bertrand.
Yes. Okay, so that carries as is, 3-2, and for the clarity's sake,
Why do you get the vote when you're?
Wow.
because I have a vote in this matter,
No, you don't. This is a conflict of interest.
I hear what you're saying.
You hear what I'm saying, but you don't listen.
Phil, you have every right to come after me. All I'm saying is, I do not believe that everybody sitting here was responsible as much as I was. If there's heat to come from this, bring it to me.
Tell us what you're gonna do in the future. That's what people really wanna know. It's gonna be-
If he has determined, let's not break into a conversation that's mutually, exclusive of the other people, one at a time. What I'm going to try and do in the future, now that he has confirmed that this person did not get checks before, would be that we will then have to determine how we handle FOIA requests if we are paying the person who's doing the research. That's a board decision. If the money needs to be repaid, I have no problem repaying it myself. It stops with me, right?
Have a nice evening. Thank you for coming. I'll be at the state tomorrow morning.
Hey, take your
Okay.
glasses.
Oh, yep.
Okay.
I'd like to say one thing. I've worked as a court bailiff for the last 10 years. I spent a lot of time in court. And there'll be a law that says this, and this attorney will say the law means that, and this attorney will mean this law means another thing. And they argue over the same law. They all have different opinions, and it takes a judge to make a decision. Just because somebody quotes a law and says this is what it means, isn't necessarily true. It could be true, but it may not be true. And like I said, I've spent hours and hours and hours in court, and I've heard all kinds of attorneys say the law means this, and all kinds of attorneys say the law means that, and it takes a judge to make a decision. And that's just my statement.
Okay, we're going to try and keep moving on here. The next thing on the agenda is the approval of the past board meeting minutes, drafts from 7/8/26 and 7/15/26. These were handed out to the board members last week, so we got them now. You had a chance to look at them. I'll make a motion that we approve those minutes as reviewed. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, a second by Hops. Any further discussion from the board members? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving those board minute meeting drafts, signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose the same? Okay, that motion carries 4-0. Mr. Monet already made some comments, but we are actually, it's not on the agenda, but we are to board comments. The only comment I have at this point is the Parks and the involvement in the grant applications that we have, which is for some huge sums of money, is probably being done right now and be done before September, where we will get an initial merit scoring ranking. We've talked about this before because it's also hooked into making sure that we take care of our parks in case there's any spot inspections. I'm going to get more involved in that as the time goes on. Until I see that ranking score, I'm going to act like we need to do everything we can to make sure that we don't have spot inspection that somehow screws us out of the 2 grants that we wrote to improve both parks. Other than that, I don't have a comment. Anybody else has got one, go ahead. Okay, hearing none. We're on to approving the meeting agenda with possible modifications or additions. I have a couple, and then God help us, maybe we can get through this pretty quick. On the agenda itself, number 1 is the interviews for the zoning admin. We already took care of that. So the new number 1 would be the personal handbook. I want to add as a number 10, accepting my resignation as one of the 2 Lyon Township representatives on the Roscommon District Library Board. As number 11, that the board approval of Sherry Adzigian as one of the 2 Lyon Township representatives on the Roscommon District Library Board. That's the only additions I have, so that brings me, at least by my count, up to number 10 and number 11. Are there any other ones from the board members? Okay, hearing none.
You have the hiring approval on there?
Yeah, it's on, well, the hiring, actually, I had 12 and 13 for both of them. Yeah, that would be 12 and 13, do them individually. Sorry.
We're just one.
Oh, I'm sorry, which, okay. So we'll do that as number 12 would be the hiring.
Philip will be next time once he gets to that.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Once you told me you already went through it, I kind of went. Okay, so that would be number 12. So we would have 12 in total. Has anybody else on the board got anything they want to add? Okay, so as modified, I'll make a motion. We approve the agenda as modified. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Hops. Any further discussion from the board? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of approving the agenda as modified, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Motion carries 4-0. That brings us to the agenda, which will be number 2 if you're looking at the one that's here. Discuss and approve the final version of the personal handbook for employees. Everybody had it. Everybody looked at it. We got feedback. My deputy ended up making a couple of minor corrections in it, and we're good to go. I will make a motion to approve the final employee handbook as reviewed and presented. We have it changed and altered. It's a matter of getting a second and moving forward at this point.
I'm going to second, because I have a question.
Okay, second by Hops. Okay, for
Where's,
discussion.
where's the final draft?
She, I believe, gave it to you guys, emailed it to
No.
you guys?
No. Well, I don't have it.
I don't have it either.
The version, it was a combination of what you two had added with the bereavement time and the
sick time right.
payoffs. Yeah.
Yeah.
She discussed it with us, but we haven't have a copy of
I
it.
know she put it in one. I thought she emailed it to you guys.
No, no email.
Okay. That was the only changes. I took out all of the additional italicized stuff that I had put in there. We're right back to the bare bones, as was given you guys last week. Any other discussion from the board? Okay, hearing none on the motion to approve the final employee handbook as reviewed, and I'll have to find out why it didn't get emailed. Could we have a roll call, please? Clerk Byrne.
Sure. Trustee Detmer.
No. I'd like to see the final draft before I vote for it.
That's exactly what.
Yeah, I agree. Treasurer Hop.
No.
Okay.
Clerk Pern, no. And Supervisor Bertrand.
I'll say yes, because I did see it, but apparently it didn't make it back to you guys. Okay, so that fails at 1, 2, 3. Next is discuss and approve, let me make sure I got that. Discuss and approve, potentially approve, the cleaning service contract with ROC, the core people that come and clean. We have a new contract. Effect for 1 year, commence August 1. I suspect that you gave copies of this to the board members, or Mr. Hops?
Doesn't have my name on it.
I didn't get one.
I got one here that says I would say we just renew it.
Yeah.
Was that from you or Greg?
That's from me, yeah.
All right.
But you gotta sign it. And it's the same contract as last year, no increase.
Yeah, I know I got to sign it. I didn't know if anybody.
Yeah, there's no increase.
There's no increase. It's the
1
same
year deal, yep.
Some of the issues on the type of work they were doing, I believe we went over that.
Yeah, they were addressed.
I'm okay with moving it along. I can make a motion, and if it fails, that's fine. So I'll make a motion that we approve the new contract, which is only different in that it is the next year, starting August 1. With ROOC to do the cleaning of our office and bathrooms once a week. Do we have a second on that?
Second.
Okay, a second from Hops. Any further discussion?
Yeah, the only discussion we had was we had another lady offer to give us a price on things. It was drastically higher, number one, but we were told that maybe the treasurer would have a talk with the cleaning crew on a Friday, and that was done. They said they would improve their service, and that's all I needed to hear.
Yeah, plus we need to go back to cleaning. When we have meetings like this, we need to go back to the maintenance crew cleaning this room, because some of the stuff stays here, and that was part of the problem. Between those two, the discussion and that, I think we got it solved. Any further discussion? Okay, can we have a roll call on that, please, Clerk Pern?
Sure. Supervisor Bertrand.
Yes.
Treasurer Hupp.
Yes.
Clerk Pern, yes. Trustee Detmer.
Yes.
Okay, that carries it 4-0. Next is to discuss and vote on a draft township purchasing policy presented and reviewed over the last week. So I gave this to you guys last week. I really got no input on anything changing. So other than the italicized versions of things in there that I pulled out in the final version, you've all had a chance to look at it. As I've already explained, it is important that we have this in place prior to grant scoring and during grant scoring, as we can submit more paperwork to bolster our case. We have to be on the ball on spending money, care, maintenance, and I think it's also good for us that we are holding ourselves accountable with how we do business here. That being said, I'll make a motion to approve the new township purchasing policy as it was presented last week. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, we have a second from Clerk Pern. Any further discussion from the board? Okay, hearing none. Again, could we have a roll call in it? Because it certainly is about handling money.
Treasurer Hunt.
Yes.
Clerk Pern, no. Trustee Detmer.
No.
Supervisor Bertrand.
Yes. So let me back. Okay, money, hops. Okay, so that is stalled at 2-2 at the moment. Next, I don't know if you guys, I put it in your packets, but you should have something that says hello MTA on the top of it here. And there's a bunch of copies over there. I asked our attorney to give us some explanation on what we could do about possible moratoriums. We've been talking about this for about a month. Moratorium on data centers. So the copy that's supplied over there on the board has got a picture of our attorney, Michael Bila and Robert Fall. No great surprise, they represent MTA, so they're already all over this thing. So he sent me that document explaining, and then he sent me a blank ordinance that we could use for a temporary moratorium on data centers. And what that really means is we're saying we need more time to think about this, go over, research, do data gathering. It's just saying we're going to say we're not going to do anything until we get more information. So in the end, it is a very simple ordinance. And all it is doing is declaring a moratorium. And that's the backstory on it. I can make a motion and see if this passes tonight. So for the Township of Lyon, Roscommon County, it would be ordinance number 68. Ordinance to enact a temporary moratorium on data centers. It goes on, it's only 2 pages, goes on to explain the purpose of it. And it can take effect upon publication. So if we adopt it, we could send it to the newspaper, and once they put it in, we're good to go. So I'm going to make that motion. It doesn't have to happen, but it's a pretty simple process. I'll make the motion that we approve adopting ordinance number 68, which is titled An Ordinance to Enact a Temporary Moratorium on Data Centers. Do we have a second for that?
I second.
Okay, so we have a second by Detmer. Any further discussion from the board? Okay, hearing none. No, there is one more thing. My concern in this is I don't think we can stop it on state land, but maybe some of you, this has crossed your mind. If you go west of Higgins Lake into the drainages from Big Creek and Little Creek, and you go down Morristown Road, there's water all the way down through that state land. If somebody decided to think about putting something out there, we probably couldn't stop them. But this is the first step in trying to be able to get control of some things. So if there's no further discussion from the board, all those in favor of adopting a new ordinance number 68 for Lyon Township, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Okay, that motion carries 4-0. Next is to distribute, and you should have this too. We talked last week about veterans, and I asked our attorney some questions about it. He replied in the affirmative that we can purchase posters honoring veterans, especially a historical interest of the township. We can do that. That was the main question. Can we do that legally and use the money for it? I think it was Mr. Monet had that question. Yes, we can. He said he was a little less comfortable with donating money to the private organization as far as AMVETS, but he did say we could offer him a deal. We could say we can have our maintenance crew come over there for a reduced rate and do something.
I thought I asked for that to be withdrawn.
You did?
You did. I'm saying I ended up sending him this, and he sent back both answers, which is what you got there. So as far as why it's on here, I wanted to make a motion that we pursue prices and more information on purchasing acceptable material to honor Lyon Township veterans and family members. No set price, just move forward on this, see what we can find and what we can come up with. So on that motion to pursue it, do we have a second?
No, second.
Okay, a second from Hops. Is there any further discussion from the board? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same. That motion carries 4-0. Next is to revisit a power plant grant. This previous motion failed at 1-3 with a board member still missing, but I'll run it. This was for a grant that we got for a camera. I'll change the motion again to just pursue. So they ended up putting moved the old camera to a different location, so we have an existing pole that has the hookup still on it. I asked Honor Security, give me a number then just to we can use the grant money to buy the camera or defer most of the cost. To just put a new one up on that pole because all the wiring's already there. They have not answered me yet, but I just sent it day before yesterday. I still am advocating that every time we get a grant approval from the power plan, if we don't use it, that reduces our chances in the future. Based on that and the fact that now we do have a pole with power up it, or with the connections on it, it's probably going to be less money than we were talking before. So I'm going to make a motion that we pursue a new cost estimate to use the grant money dedicated for the new camera purchase and install it on the existing southwest pole at Phoenix, now vacant, because the camera was moved and it has existing wiring already. Do we have a second on that?
I'll second so we can get a vote and get this off of the
Okay, so
agenda.
second by Hops. Any further discussion? Okay, certainly money. Could we have a roll call then for that as stated to use the grant money to buy the new camera?
Let me ask one question before we get to that. The motion was to pursue an estimate.
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't say that right.
That's all
at
we're
the end.
talking. So there is no money involved yet.
No, no money. If he gives us a price, we could certainly look at it, but I haven't got one yet.
Well, then I don't think we need a roll call vote, do you?
You're right. How about we switch it to no further discussion from the board? Okay, then all those in favor of pursuing a new estimate to use that grant money signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That would be aye, that would be me. And you, all those opposed? the same?
No.
No.
Okay, that one's 2-2 still. Wow, that could be a record. Keeps coming up 2-2. Revisit clearing the brush along the West Higgins Lake Drive at the cemetery. Mr. Hops and I have talked about this. I wanted to add, before we had no second, no motion, no discussion. the cemetery is included in the Parks and Rec Fund, which is a millage intended to be used for improvements. Last year, we spent over $15,000 chasing oak wilt around, and it worked great, and we got rid of a lot of it. And we used Park and Rec money for that. So the cost of this would be, it's $3,105. Mr. Hops and I were talking about that if we remember the fact that we have $15,000 that we didn't spend, there is money to do this, and for the public, it's to clear a stretch from the cemetery driveway alongside where the water pump house is so that you can actually see the back half of that cemetery from the road. And of course, we know Bruce does a great job, but they would take the underbrush out, leave the trees, so you can see through there. So the reason I brought it up again is because that $15,000 we don't have to use this year is there. There's probably money to do this, no problem. Again, it's a millage. We're supposed to spend this money for improvements. So I'll run it by again. I'll make a motion that we approve the contract for the brush clearing at the cemetery for a cost of $3,105 from Landworks LLC. So do we have a second on that tonight?
I will second for discussion.
Okay, and then further discussion, I already told you where I'm at on it.
And I told you where I'm at. I said, why don't we wait till next year?
I hear you. Any further discussion from the board?
I'd rather see trees than tombstones.
Oh, okay. Took me a while to figure out where you're going with that. Any other discussion from the board? Okay. So that is money. If we do a quick roll call here, we can move right out of this one.
Okay, Treasurer Hop.
No.
Trustee Detmer.
No.
Clerk Byrne. No.
Okay.
Supervisor Bertrand.
Yes, so this is, now that we actually discussed it, I think it's a great idea to park it till next year. Again, number 8 is revisit Health and Safety Committee. When we talked about this before, I ended up calling Paul Olson, our insurance company rep. He said that one of the things that it might be worth considering to have a committee is that you could have the committee do an inventory of stuff. And it would be, if for no other reason than if there was ever any insurance claims on theft or fire, you might have a better idea. I get what he's saying. But again, this is one of those ones that either we weren't all here or it didn't get a second, so I'm going to run it by again. I'll make a motion that the board create a health and safety committee for the purpose of building and property walkthrough inspections and input. Do we have a second?
I'll second for sake of discussion.
Okay. Further discussion being go into buildings, you look around, make sure everything, you don't have gas cans in the library, stuff like that. But then also the addition, inventorying what we had is probably not a bad idea. Any other?
I don't see the reason for it. I don't understand. We haven't had an issue so far. It just seems like why we need a health and safety committee is beyond me.
Understood. Every place I ever worked, we had one. That's, but we have a difference of opinion. Any other comment from the board? Okay, hearing none. Back that up. All those in favor of a motion to create a health and safety committee for those purposes signify by saying aye. And that would be me. And opposed the same?
No.
No.
Okay, so that motion fails at 1-4. Number 9, accepting a resignation. I'm going to make a motion that the board accept my resignation as Lyon Township representative from the Roscommon District Library Board immediately. We have 2 slots. I'm in one. Nancy, and I'm going to screw her name up. I'm not even going to try. Nancy's in the other one. I'm going to resign, and I would like you to accept my resignation. So on that motion to accept it, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. And any further discussion from the board? Hearing none, and the position itself had money, I never took money, but we should do a roll call.
Okay, trustee Detmer,
Yes.
clerk Kern, yes. Treasurer Hub,
Yes.
Supervisor Bertrand.
Yes, thank you, gentlemen. So that motion carries 4-0. Number 10 is to approve an appointment of, for that position. So I'll make a motion. Sherry Hedzigian has graciously offered to fill that position. And she is pretty tuned into the library, and I think it's a great fit. And I couldn't be more happy that you're willing to do it, actually. Well, you're a better fit than I was there for different reasons. We got that resolved. Okay, so I'm going to make a motion that the board approve the appointment of Sherry Hedzigian to the open position on the Roscommon District Library Board as a line representative effective immediately. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? I do have some. Mr. Monet has some opinions about this. Our attorney has already told us that we don't need to submit paperwork. You want to quit, you can quit. We can appoint people, they need to be sworn in. He has a different opinion, and God bless America. I'm comfortable with doing this way. Any other discussion from the board? Okay, and there is potentially money involved. So if we could do a roll call, please.
Clerk Kern, yes. Treasurer Hub,
Yes.
Supervisor Bertrand.
Yes.
And trustee, whatever your name is on there, Detmer.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you very much, Sherry. Welcome aboard. I know you're going to do a great job, and you're going to enjoy those meetings. And remember this, they got $1 million budget. So when they start pinching pennies, you get in there and say, come on.
That means we need to up the rent here.
Well, I don't know about that. Anyway, number 11, okay, I'm going to scratch 11. I had that as Philip. So I will call number 11. As recommended by Fire Chief Fay, I'll make a motion that the board approve the hiring of Brianna McGillen. Is that correct? As an addition to the Lyon Township Fire Department. Not EMS yet?
She's joining the department. She's going to get her fire
Okay.
1 and 2.
So as stated, fire to the Lyon Township Fire Department. Do we have a second for that?
Second.
Okay, a second by Detmer. Any further discussion from the board?
Just a quick question. She's at Camp Grayling currently?
Yes.
What is she? She's a guardsman?
She's in logistics.
Logistics?
She's sergeant.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah.
I saw it on her resume.
Staff sergeant.
Well, she,
Okay.
Staff
you know,
Sergeant McGillen, yes, okay.
the application was certainly fine, and we're certainly looking for people. So you're doing something right if they're coming out of the woodwork and trying to get in. Appreciate that. There's money, we got to roll call that too.
We gotta make a motion first, huh?
I got a second from Detmer,
Oh, you did? The silent man,
and
okay.
then discussion, well, we kind of blew through discussion unless somebody else has got something.
Okay, so Treasurer Hub,
Yes.
trustee Detmer,
Yes.
clerk Kern, yes. And Supervisor Bertrand.
Yes. So that motion carries 4-0, and tell her, welcome aboard. Okay, unless I missed something,
That's it.
that's the end of the agenda. So getting into announcements. The Cancer Sucks tournament is going to be in September. There's paperwork over there on the desk about it. If you'd like to get involved or make donations, excuse me, certainly appreciated. It's a good cause. Great baseball teams come from all over the state to play that weekend, and you'll see some great baseball. So I just got the paperwork on that. You're going to start seeing it on our bulletin boards or getting pushed on Facebook. The fish sculpture at Phoenix Park. Two things I'm going to say now. I ended up doing some emergency spending. The maintenance crew declined to try and deal with it because of the size of the mounting post. I ended up finding, Nick Sargent was willing to use a process to put a pole in similar to a light pole, which was the only thing that made sense to me, and he was the only one willing to do it. And we got to get this thing up because the kiosks with the map of all these water spots in Roscommon County are here. So I did, it'll come out probably in the next consent agenda, that would be under $1,500 for him to come out and put that pole in and also put the attachment on the top. That I did that without board approval. And also for Martin Shilby, when the pole is up, there's a huge pine tree there, a couple branches needed to be trimmed off the side so that we can get a good visual on the fish hanging there within what is going to be a photo op with the lake in the background. He came in and did that, again, was willing to do it, came 2 days later. I don't know what that estimate would be. I don't think it's going to be more than $400. Those things needed to be done. The Community Foundation, the lady was here Monday. This thing needs to get done, and there's one Roscommon Township is still screwing around with theirs too. Last but not least, another grant from Michigan State, Clean Lakes, Clean Water Demonstrations. We did one already at Samoset. There's a new sign at Samoset with a brush hanging there and some tools. It will be at on 9/5/26, Saturday. Samoset 11 o'clock, Phoenix at 12:15. That will be put on by Laura Piakowski, one of the Parks and Rec members, and her son. We're doing them on the weekend because we get photos with people. That's what the grantees want to see. That keeps the money flowing. I do not have any other announcements. I don't know if any of you gentlemen do.
I'd like to announce that I just stand up because my back hurts from time to time, so don't be alarmed.
Yeah, every now and then you have to remind everybody. Okay, that brings us to public comment. So, we have a lot of people here. We're certainly going to try and do the 5 minutes. I guess if you get up first, you're first, right?
I assumed you wanted me moved into this position. Thank you, Supervisor and members of the board. I'm going to address two issues with one problem that you may have, and that has to do with Hewla. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm sorry.
Some of these people don't know who you are.
Yeah. I'm Tim Poxon, 11995 Military Road, Roscommon, Michigan. And again, thank you to the board. Unfortunately, the last meeting I attended with the EULA, I heard some things that really disturbed me. I think I wasn't the only one that was disturbed by some of the things that we heard. Number one, they don't believe they report to you at all. They believe they're independent. I believe that.
Who are we talking about?
EULA board. Higgins Lake Utility.
Okay. All right.
Higgins Lake Utility Authority. I think you got an email from me, as a matter of fact.
Yes, I did.
And I believe that they do report to you. Any board that's appointed by a township, city, or anything else, and I worked in city government for a number of years, and we had boards, and those boards could create problems for us if we didn't oversee them. As a matter of fact, they were lawsuits that ended up at the city's problem. So I believe Lyon Township and Beaver Creek elected officials have to oversee it, and that they have to provide you with reports. I saw no reports tonight on the table or given orally. They believe they're independent, practically able to do anything they want to, was my impression.
I could be wrong about that. Second issue I have with the Hewlett Board is that they are going to violate state law, Michigan, MCL, Michigan Compiled Law 141.121 by spreading quarterly fees on the other users of the system when a part of that system is, one of the users or a number of users don't pay their quarterly fee. I believe that's a violation of state law. They cannot spread any of that out. They have to absorb those losses until the money is collected through either attached to the tax assessment, which all house buildings over there have a tax number, and or the sale of that particular property, and then the new user or the old user, whatever they agree to, will pay back those fees. They should not fall in any form 1 penny on any other owner. And I'm willing to answer any questions if supervisor would allow that, if you have any questions.
Questions, well, other than, if you send me details, this is going to our attorney.
Yeah.
If you send me details, I do know, we talked about some of this before, we are supposed to be getting reports from the 2 Lyon Township representatives. But we just now installed 2 new people. I don't know that I've ever asked them if they're supposed to come, but I will again.
I'm not asking you that they come. I'm asking you that they provide a report to this elected body.
Okay.
And also, I should have mentioned, and I had it in my notes, I didn't mention it, there may also be an issue of the Michigan Constitution violation of the Headley Amendment by hiding taxes in a collected fee. That one I'm not as certain on because I couldn't get all the research I needed for all that one. But
Well,
thank you, Supervisor.
if you put it in an email, I can.
I think I did send you the email with those 2 complaints in it, didn't I?
If you did, it got buried in whatever happened in the last week and a half.
Yeah, and you got it about a week ago, I believe.
Let me look, and if I didn't, I'll, let me see if I can find it.
Okay. Thank you, Supervisor and the board, for your time.
Well, thank you for your comments. Okay, let's start on this side. If somebody, well, let's just see. Has anybody got something they want to say? And I'm sorry, you sat down and your head was lower. This gentleman is here, and I should have got to you a long time ago.
Oh, that's okay.
No, it's not okay. You were behind, I didn't see you. So again, what is your purpose in being here? Because
Yeah, so my name is Mo. I'm from a Small Business Administration. Thanks so much for the opportunity. The president and the governor declared the Roscommon to be a disaster area because of the storm that happened back in April, the 10th through the 21st.
the ice storm?
Yeah, the rainstorm, yeah.
Well, there was an ice storm and then the flooding.
Yeah, so this is
Okay.
specifically for the flooding.
Oh, for the flooding.
Flooding, yeah. April the 10th through the 21st.
Okay, because in what Mr. Trump did, Roscommon County's not in there for the flooding.
Yes, it's actually in there. Roscommon
Have
is
you
actually
had,
one.
you had any conversations with Vanessa Varner about any of this?
Yes. Yeah, we've been talking to, I actually emailed you and the clerk, I think, 2 weeks ago. I was at your
All right,
office
keep
as
going, because
well.
that was, conversations with her, I didn't think we were in on the FEMA money for the flooding.
Yeah, actually, that's one of the reason I'm here. Actually, FEMA and SBA will be in Houghton Lake, Michigan, at St. John's Lutheran Church this coming weekend, Thursday through Monday. Let me just check the hours real quick. I believe it's from 8 o'clock until 6 p.m. So if you guys know anyone who's been affected by the storm, they can go to the Disaster Recovery Center. I also have a number of brochures here that I can share with you and with the town. So any businesses, nonprofits, homeowners who got affected by the storm, they can apply for that resource.
That, including municipalities, eh?
Correct, yes.
Wow, this is completely contrary to what I was told before.
Yeah, I think the one that you're talking about is the ice storm. I don't think that got approved.
Well, we just submitted $14,000 worth of bills on the ice storm to the state of Michigan.
Okay.
But the FEMA, the money that President Trump had cut loose, it didn't say Roscommon County on the thing. And I asked Vanessa why that was.
So I'm not here because of FEMA. That could be, maybe I can talk to Vanessa as well to explain that further. But I'm representing SBA, just kind of an FYI.
Okay, all right. Yeah, if you got something, I'm
I'll
all
drop
in
it
looking
for you,
at it.
yeah. But yeah, that's the reason I'm here, and if you have any
Sorry.
questions. No,
You
you're
sat
fine.
here for
It was very
2.5 hours.
It was very
I-
interesting
If I'd have saw you
conversation, so-
again, I probably would have did something.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. You're a patient man. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm not, go ahead. If he wants to answer, he certainly can.
What's his name again? Leave us a couple and we'll print them up.
There may be a couple people who have a question, if you'd like to entertain answering one now.
I don't think he's here in there.
If you want to entertain answering a couple questions, go ahead and sit down.
President specifically, if somebody has a flooded basement, or we had a bunch of problems up on the north side where the road got washed out, they would show up down at St. John's Lutheran, is that right? And they should fill out. And do you have any idea how much in funds are available for Roscommon County?
I don't think there's any specific price or numbers that are pushed to get, and I'll definitely go over there. and talk to them.
Okay, and as far as, I mean, what kind, they have to prove loss. Do they come in, do they have to have insurance claims, or do they, well, insurance claims just fail, probably, cleanup, costs, collapsed walls, whatever?
Everything really, so if you have insurance, you can't get what you're looking for. So it has to be uninsured.
And so all that will be discussed at St. John's Lutheran. They will give people help here how to figure that out. Is that correct? And is there a time limit on it?
So, yeah, talking about that. So 31st, August 31st is the deadline, but you get 60 days grace period, so that gives you kind of
August 31st of 2026?
26.
Okay, so,
The 60 day grace
great.
So do we just show up?
period. Show up,
Similar to these meetings.
Time limit, I mean, time update?
Yes, so we open Thursday to Monday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay, so if you can leave me something, we can get it up on Facebook for the township. Okay, I'll,
And we can make copies for him.
well, yeah. I don't know, I have to get ahold of Vanessa and figure out where the disconnect was there. Yeah, yeah, because we were trying to figure out how Roscommon County didn't get included in that. But, all right, well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, sir. Sorry about you having to wait that long. It's like our attorney says, I'm not surprised at anything that happens in Lyon Township. Anybody else got a comment, something they want to say before we, go ahead, sir. Oh, this is round two for you?
Well, that was a question earlier.
Oh, okay.
Or I guess it was a comment, but, Tim McCarthy, 245 Sam Olsett. I already thanked you guys, so I was gonna start out with that. I thought I had a lot to say, but really there's not a lot to say, because I'm not here to change anybody's opinion. I don't think I can. I'm really gonna just try to appeal to what I hope is a universal sense of wrong and right. And even to trustee Detmer's point of how the law is interpreted in court, we'll try to even simplify it down. I mean, like, let's just say, for example, I'm speeding. If I'm 1 mile an hour, I'm not 30 miles an hour. Breaking the law, I'm wrong. We can all argue it, what the reason was or whatever. The enforcement, that's really discretionary, right? We've all been given that break, maybe, or I did meet somebody earlier this week who has never been pulled over. But, yeah, exactly, right? But, 5 miles an hour over the speed limit on the interstate is looked at differently enforcement-wise than, say, 5 miles an hour over the speed limit in a school zone. I think what I'm gonna ask of the board really is just to take a look at our ordinance, ordinance 62, closely. I'm obviously laser focused on Bismarck. And I would ask that we look at the procedures from start to finish, to include the permitting procedure, to see if things were done properly. Accepting minor discretions, to the gentleman's point earlier about his granddaughter sunbathing, be outstanding if we could just say, yeah, just like the 5 miles and over on the interstate. But when somebody goes 30 miles an hour through the school zone and does something, destroys something, hits a kid or something like that, then I guarantee you everybody's gonna start looking at every mile an hour over that. I don't care what side of the argument you're on. I think we can all agree that what happened on Bismarck, or at Bismarck's dock on the 2nd of July, was a tragedy, an egregious violation of many things. I don't think we want to see that happen again. I do appreciate Bruce doing the investigating he has. I know that like a long time ago, I was told, if you have a hard time figuring out between wrong and right, usually the right thing to do is the harder thing to do. Sometimes enforcing those ordinances, abiding by law, is the hard thing to do. Usually it is. It's a lot easier just to go speeding down the road, knowing that you're probably not going to get pulled over. About 5 years ago now, we purchased our retirement home right here, 245 Sam Osset. The 33 years prior to that, I spent all over the world defending what I hope we're doing, fighting the good fight, I think, and defending our way of life. I don't say that to be pretentious or to ask for special treatment or anything like that. I say it to let you know that during that time, I was able a couple times to come back to this home state of Michigan and actually look down at Higgins Lake from above and see that, yes, that is the most beautiful lake in this state. And my God, that's a paradise down there, isn't it? What I've seen in the 4 summers that we've been here, is that it wasn't that paradise I thought. At best, it's a Dr. Seuss book of Nietzsche's putting stars on their bellies and taking them off and getting confused on who's who. At worst, it's the West Bank. But generationally, we don't even know why we hate each other. We just know that the ones before us did. I'm going to ask that you guys take a real close look at what happened on Bismarck. And instead of waiting for one more incident, I'm going to ask you to take a vote, just like the ordinance says you can at any time, on revoking the permit. And then because the sad irony to this whole thing is that I'm talking about me and my wife, we're advocates for the public and for the public access there. The first thing we started doing when we showed up was we saw that public access and the erosion and the damage that's going on and the cobblestones that were dangerous for anybody to walk down. My wife started writing letters. She started out with the HLPOA because we didn't know where else, and their riparian committee. She tried with the road commission. This year, even prior to the structure being built that's there, she contacted all the way up to state legislatures, even the attorney general. And then she started getting calls from the road commission, like we're going to do something. I went out there and tried to help the young man that was working on the stairs at Sam Osset. I'm the one that said you might want to put a railing there to try to get this thing into code. You might want to give a permit so that people can safely go down here. So I'm going to ask for that, a vote on the revocation of its permit. And then I urge the board to work with Eagle the road commission, and come up with a solution to repair that shoreline. Give it a couple of years, whatever the people know, okay, I'm done, but the people know, or the professionals say, it might be 3 years, I don't know, restore that shoreline, put in a stair access that is safe and will not create all that erosion. Fix it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments, sir. Anybody else got something they want to say tonight? Come on up, Phil.
Phil Robinson, I'm a resident on West Higgins Lake Drive, not very far from Samoset. I created a handout that I put at the table and passed some around today. I spent a little bit of time recently trying to understand what's going on down there, because having walked down there many, many times, I've seen changes take place, and it's been hard to get straight information as to what rights people have and what people are not allowed to do, because that basically everything on the side of the road on Samoset that's toward the lake is part of a county easement. That easement comes with certain public rights. It also comes with certain obligations. It's been a little bit confiscated because there's been some judgments made in lawsuits in the past years that have created certain specific stipulations. I've gotten the impression in recent years that some of the alterations that have taken place on the easement across from the private properties seemed, at least in some part, designed to create the impression that that easement is actually part of their property, even though there's a road between them and the lake. And we've seen this recently, especially when many signs are popping up saying private property, no trespassing. People are doing all kinds of improvements. And it's hard to get information about what's really going on. So I decided to talk to a couple of people, and then I spoke with staff at the Road Commission this week, and including the Road Commission manager, trying to get an understanding of what they plan to do and what obligations they have to make sure that the public have access to this. If you look through the document, I characterized the discussions that I had with them, and some of them were surprising because, not because they're unreasonable, but because I didn't understand how that thing operated. And as it turns out, that whole belt along there, between the lake and the road, with the exception of the road ends, which have their own special rules, those areas are actually public access areas. And even the improvements that are put there by permit are allowed to be used by the public. So if you go out there and you build a sidewalk and you build a patio and you make a really beautiful place right there, that doesn't mean that now you own that property. In fact, the public is allowed to utilize any of those things that are put in place. And that was made very clear to me by Roger Saxton, who's the manager. I understand after speaking with the Road Commission that they're upping their game a little bit in terms of how to manage those access conflicts on that thing, on that piece of property, and hopefully they'll do a better job. The day after I spoke with them yesterday actually, and today I went down Samoset, and lo and behold, a lot of those private no trespassing signs are gone. And but there's still others that remain, and there's other artifacts that are private property that were stashed on that piece of property that have been relocated. Either that or somebody left for the weekend or left for the week. So I think you're going to see some changes down there because the public has a right to actually picnic on that property. They have a right to park on that property. And I'm just repeating what I've been told by people who I'm trusting would know and would probably wouldn't stick their neck out to say that if they didn't have good reason to do so. So if people have any questions about who has a right to do what there, I wouldn't hesitate to take those issues directly to the Road Commission and talk to people like the manager, and they can explain to you in the context of other lawsuits that have been involved with property conflicts there, and also their knowledge about what the general policies are about the county's managerial role in easement properties, you can come away with a lot better idea. Many of the things that have been put in there, like these sidewalks and stonework and whatnot, even gardens and plantings, I'm not saying specifically which ones, but, you know, there've been, most of them, I think, have been given permits. But there are some that are not permitted, and apparently they're in the process of doing a little bit of cleanup. And it's like a lot of administrative things, sometimes time goes by and we lose track of, you know, what the regulations are, and there's a laissez-faire compliance program that lets things kind of drift off in a different direction. Quite frankly, just walking down there today, in the absence of those signs and some of that junk on those properties, made it a much more pleasant walk, rather than little, and there's still some little tiny fences, even at the water's edge, to discourage the public from entering that property with the impression that that's actually connected to a property across the street, and they have no right to be there.
All right, go ahead, and wrap it up if you can.
Well, I'll wrap it up like that because I think most of everything else that I learned is in that document that I passed around. It's a 3-page document, and I hope you'll read it. And if you have questions before we get, you know, down the road and graduate into conflicts on that property access for the public, maybe we can avoid that by educating the public, and the public can help educate itself about what their rights are as property owners and what the public's rights are as well. So it's changing. The acknowledgement of those changes are probably going to become more apparent as time goes by here.
All right, thanks, sir. Okay, any other public comments from the crowd this evening?
It's getting late. Try to make it short and sweet. My name's Susan Lindemoon. I'm at 145 Samoset. When Mr. Robinson came in today, he handed me this brochure, pamphlet, or whatever his opinions were. He made a phone call and someone told him maybe this or maybe that. And he wrote it down on this paper and he handed it out. And that's wrong.
Okay, don't get so, when it gets loud, it ends up on the
Well,
recording.
I might get louder.
Well, as long as you stay this far away, on the recording, it ends up screwing it
So
up.
when he sits up here and he says the Samoset people don't own the property on the other side of the road, I believe he's wrong. When we bought our property on Samoset, RE/MAX assured me with paperwork and the legal lawsuits that were filed and won, all Samoset owners own the property on the other side of the road. And in fact, on our deeds, it says that we gave the township the right-of-way to put a road through our property. And why did they do that? Because emergency vehicles need to get through there. It's my understanding, years ago, it used to be a 2-track. Now it's become a racetrack, Samoset. It's unreal. How do you even walk down there? Beyond me. Let alone the kids driving golf carts. I got to see 3-year-olds sitting in the driver's seat. Come on. I mean, somebody needs to start policing Samoset. It's out of control. It's got to stop before someone gets hurt. I got 10-year-old kids doing circle 8s in my driveway. They're going to flip. They're going to get hurt. It's almost ridiculous what we see on Samoset. And as far as Mr. Robinson goes, to the best of his understanding, the following comments he put on here, the best of his understanding, they're accurately portrayed in what he wrote. This is just someone's opinion. He needs to see the legal documents that go to the property owners on Samoset before he is allowed to pass out at a public meeting of this paperwork. That's all I have to say. I don't know why he doesn't like the people on Samoset. We're really nice people. If you want to sit on my swing, sir, you're more than welcome. I never kick anybody off. You want to go use my dock and get in the water? You're more than welcome. Just ask me. That's all
All
I
right,
have to
thank
say.
you. Let's not go there. Thank you for your comment. Appreciate it. Anybody else? Okay.
Hi. My name's Jacqueline Valente. Am I close enough or am I going to be booming out of there?
You should be good. It's just on the tape, it ends up banging it too hard.
Okay. My address is 5604 West Higgins Lake Drive. My parents is 5598 West Higgins Lake Drive on Samoset. They have a West Higgins Lake Drive, but they are on Samoset, and same with myself. I've been coming up here since I was 5 years old on Samoset for 55 years. Okay? The way this street is not monitored in any way, shape, or form anymore, it is out of control. And I know we're all waiting for something tragic to happen, almost what happened on Bismarck. It was very violent. A lot of kids watching, okay? It wasn't for young people to have to watch this and witness this, okay? We need something in control, if it's this board, if it's somebody, to start monitoring what is happening on Samoset. You've got literally 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds driving these side-by-sides, golf carts, whatever it is, mini bikes, motorcycles, everything. Okay, are you just waiting for my grandchild to get run over? Is that what it's going to take? A tragic situation? Somebody getting possibly injured or killed? We are asking for this board's support and having this street monitored. This for 55 years, this is out of control. Out of control.
I appreciate your comment. I would reiterate again that anytime you feel danger or threatened, call the police.
We have.
Okay? I believe that what Bruce was saying and the fact they're probably going to increase their presence. We are never going to be 24/7 as a board, so at least in the safety issue aspect of this, call the police.
The support in what we're asking.
I get your comment, but if it's any, like, if you think there's a serious threat or trespassing, don't even, a year ago, people used to call here.
No.
We can't do anything.
No.
You got to call the police.
police.
All right, I appreciate
Is that,
it.
I mean, well, we write the state, we write the federal, whatever. We'll do whatever we can to help this street. Yeah, safety. I mean,
Okay, well, I suspect we will be having meetings and more comments can come up. I appreciate your
I
comment.
think maybe we should invite the representative of the road commission to one of our meetings. And let him sit here and explain everybody.
And they'll bring their attorney and we need to invite ours and it'll be a party then.
I don't know if we need that. I mean,
well, yeah.
I'm not doing anything unless our attorney says we could do it.
well, you can invite him here to speak.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This is heading towards, he came here once to talk about short-term rental. Yeah, I certainly think we need to try and do something. I have no idea what that thing is yet, and it has to be legal.
I agree. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
John Bartlett, Lyon Township. I really was not going to say much, but after hearing the stuff about Samoset, I've heard, Trustee Detmer say, we don't need a police force here. But I think maybe what you guys might be missing the point is that, we feel that you need to be proactive, that we don't want to wait until somebody makes a complaint or feels threatened, as you said, Paul, I think what we're saying is that we need somebody monitoring that. We need somebody there to sort of nip it in the bud, to say, look, we've got a presence there so nobody ever feels threatened. So you don't wait until you're threatened. We need to have somebody monitoring that somehow. So, and I know it's a difficult situation, but I just want to emphasize the point that, you know, to sit there and say, wait for a complaint, that's not what we're saying. The point is, we want somebody there to monitor it. Probably would not have happened to Tim. Whatever happened, I don't know, but that was awful. And you know, if there are people doing things there that they shouldn't do, there's nobody there monitoring it. So please don't wait for a complaint. Please be proactive about whatever your plan is.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we're down to Sam Bedoyan Jr. Thank you all for your patience. I said this at one of the concerts too. You get a bunch of people together with different opinions. Higgins Lake people they know how to get along with each other, you know, in general.
You're not hearing what they're saying.
No, I'm hearing what they're saying. What I'm saying is fights aren't breaking out.
They're not?
I'm talking about right here.
Oh.
When we get together to discuss things, there are many townships, you've probably seen the videos, where the meetings just go nuts. If we can work our way through this, I think that'll be it. To me, it's a credit. The people who live around here are great people. Anyway, go ahead, Mr. Bedoyan.
Sam Bedoyan Jr., Lyon Township. I live at 205 Albemarle Boulevard, four-way stop, just past the Silver Dollar Bar. Ed Nellis was supervisor. We had issues back in the day. Ed Nellis and I at the time, Fran was sheriff, went in, discussed, asked if the patrol cars that pass North State Park and go to Old 27 and take Old 27 to Houghton Lake could just detour and take Higgins Lake Boulevard through Lyon Township. And he did that, and that's going on today. I'm leading to a point. So that was accomplished, that you have patrol from the sheriff of Roscommon County in your township without having a police department. That many years ago, the public wanted you guys to have a police department. That's a whole different ballgame. I don't want to get into that right now. But you have coverage. Now here, with the board's support, your supervisor can sit down with the sheriff and discuss these matters, and I'll bet you he would have no problem having his patrol cars detour and go right down Samoset for exposure and take care of those problems. That's the one way I see that you're going to have coverage that you folks need. Because the township's limited, obviously. They don't have a badge, they don't have a gun, neither does Bruce, and I'm going to defend him in every which way and a lot of things he's trying to do. But that's my suggestion. Get hold of the sheriff, and I'll bet you he'll have his patrol cars going down that road, just like I saw four-wheelers parked at Samoset Park, and there's no parking signs there. He can't do nothing. He doesn't have a badge. But somebody can call the sheriff's department. Any one of you can call the sheriff's department on that. But he can go in there and talk about the fact of getting a patrol car down there. Now, this public notice, you're going to have to forgive me. That was in 2005. I'm not good at math, but that's 21 years ago. So we that have been here have seen a lot. We're going to try and help you folks because of these situations. It's a different generation now. Now you're going to have to really get support from the legal end of it. Public Act 56 was created by the legislators in 2012, which is a law. Now, I had a kid here, and I'm not going to pass it out. I'll wait till maybe next month. It's all about Public Act 56, which is a law. If you go on your phone, and I don't even have a computer, but I went on my phone and asked for Public Act 56, State of Michigan. It just prints it all out, what it is. And believe me, you'll get educated on that. And then you get educated on this, but you still need legal help. I mean, the sheriff's department or even the state police. You can call either one of them. They will come down.
You have a complaint, you call 911, call a complaint. They'll send a patrol car. That's their job. But I'm gonna end at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it. Anybody else? Any last comments? Okay, I want to thank you all again. I'm sorry I didn't state that very well, John. You're right, there are problems. But I have faith that the majority of people here can work together and figure things out. And you're right, I can get a hold of the sheriff. I've been sitting on, probably shouldn't even, well, I'm not going to say it now. There's a reason I'm kind of waiting before I get a hold of him. Something needs to be settled on their end first. Then I'm going to get a hold of him.
Wonder if,
Their understanding's been going on long enough. They know what's going on.
Right, but there's a particular,
Get on it before the Labor Day weekend so they can start getting patrol cars to help these folks.
there's a particular thing that they need to make a decision on. It's probably going to happen this week. And at that point,
I'm wondering if we couldn't do something with either the state police or the sheriff's department and have almost like a substation in the fire department where they could have like a little office there, have the car there. They're close by. We've got plenty of room in the fire department to have an office there. I mean,
we could buy an old police car, give it to Bruce.
But that way you've got at least someone local. So if there is an issue, you're not coming from Roscommon or Holton Lake or wherever they're at, they're here. They're at the fire department. I don't know, it's just a thought.
I think that a lot of thoughts are going to come up, and we'll see. Okay, anyway, as far as the meeting goes, perfect timing. I would entertain a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
I make the motion.
Okay, motion by Detmer, public comment is closed, so do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion from the board? Okay, then the meeting is adjourned at
9:48.
Holy crap. Holy crap. Okay, turn your mics off. Hey, turn your mics off. It's all going on.
When there's a sheriff there, what they will follow the kids all the way back to their place, and then they get a ticket, parents get a ticket or whatever. When there's a sheriff there, and then, okay, then you don't see it for a few hours.